Hello everyone. Somebody asked me to make a quick video on how to use Pushover as an alerting system for Home Assistant. So I'm going to throw a quick little one-take wonder video together for you. And so let's get to what we need to do first. Go to pushover.net, and then pushover.net you need to download either the Google Play Store version or the Apple Store version of the Pushover app. That's the way you'll get the alerts on your device. You can also get them on a desktop via a browser as well if you want to. After you have it downloaded, at some point you're going to need to create an account, whether you do it through the client or you do it here. So let's go ahead and I already have an account, so I'm going to go ahead and just log right into my account and show you what you're going to need to do here. All right, so what we're going to do, first thing you're going to notice is that you have a user key right here. And this is your user key that you'll use for setting up your alerts in Home Assistant or any other system that requires a user key. In addition, you're going to need an application. I've already created a Home Assistant application, but I'll take you through how we do that here. So just create an application API token, and I can call it HA2 for Home Assistant 2. You can leave the description and URL blank if you want, or you can use those. That's up to you. Check the terms of service. Of course, we all read the terms of service, so make sure you do that. And then create your application. You get 7,500 messages a month for free, but this is such an awesome little tool. I recommend that you support it if you can. And then what you're going to get after you do this is you're going to get an API token key. And that API token key you'll also use in addition to your user key. So once you have those two things, then you need to go into Home Assistant. So I've opened up a terminal window, and I'm going to go to my config directory, and I'm going to edit the configuration.yaml file, and I'm going to look for notify because I already have this set up. And you can see here that all you need to do for using this within YAML is create a notify block with the name Pushover, platform Pushover, API key, and user key. And of course, if you remember, you get the API key from here. That's your application key. And then you get your user key from your main login screen, which is this right here. And you'll need both of those. All right, so now that we're in the, now we've got that configured, and you'll notice I also use secrets, the secrets file. You can use that if you'd like to. I just happen to do that, and again, I'm using YAML, so I'm able to do that currently. I don't know how that works in the new system if you're just doing straight up configuration through the UI. All right, that sets this up so you can use Home Assistant Pushover within Home Assistant directly. If you want to use the Node-RED integration from Home Assistant, then what you need to do is you need to create a new Pushover instance or a Pushover integration, I guess you'd call it. So you can find all of your nodes on the left-hand side, and the best way to find that is to do Pushover. And there's the Pushover API. Drag it over here, double-click on it, then it'll open up an edit window. And I have a couple of these already created. So all you're doing is you're adding the keys here. I'm going to create a new one. So add new Pushover keys. And for whatever reason, you can't see the drop downs when I do this, but I did click the drop down and click this option for Pushover keys. And when you click on that, you'll take the user from the Pushover site, the user key that you created, and paste it in here. And then you'll also need the application, and I created the HA2 application, and you'll need that key as well. You can paste that in here, and you can name it whatever you want to. I call it HA2 key for lack of a better term. All right, and now I'll give this a title, HA2 Pushover, or whatever you want to call it, and then you're done with it, right? and that was wrong. Let me put HA2 pushover right here as well, so whenever it shows up on the screen you can tell which one it is. All right, we're done with that. Next thing you want to do is you want to come over here and create some JSON, which is a message block, to send to Pushover. And I have one created over here. I'll just copy it and we can look through it and see what it looks like. So this is using the function, node through Node-RED, right? So you'll take that and you'll throw a message payload in here, and it's just the payload, which is fridge door open, and topic fridge door open, priority is 0, which in my case bypasses my do not disturb. And then you have the sound, and you can specify these sounds from the API, the Pushover API. This one's called Gameland. In my case, I use a lot of different sounds so that I can visibly or audibly hear what's going on. So if the garage door is open or closed, that's a sound. If, in this case, the fridge door is open, a different sound. If the alarm goes off, that's a completely obnoxious, different sound. And so that way I know when I listen to it or hear it on my device, I know exactly what's going on without having to look at it. So that's all there is to that. You just throw this message payload, and remember it's JSON, so it has to be formatted correctly or it's not going to work. And then to use it, you just take this node and you tie it to that node. So whenever this node is triggered from whatever's going on this side, it'll send this payload in here to this API, Pushover API node, and then off to your notification, or off to your devices as a notification. So if we take a look at the fridge door that I've created before, the fridge door alert, and I do have a video for that if you want to look that up. So all this does is if the fridge door is open, it'll start a 2-minute timer. It follows this flow right here, and if the door remains open, it sends a state, or it sends a notification out this path to this function right here, which creates the JSON payload, which then goes to the Pushover node or Pushover API. And then through the magic of all the internet, it comes to my devices and tells me somebody left the fridge door open. And then I go close it, or they close it. So it's really simple. I mean, I probably oversimplified it a little bit, but it really isn't that hard if you think about it. Once you've created this Pushover API node within Home Assistant, anytime you create a new node or add a new node to a flow, then you can choose which client setup you want to use. I really only have one. I've done the second one for testing, which will get deleted, by the way, so don't try to spam me on it. And then I just use it anytime I want to have an alert of some sort from the Home Assistant. And you can see some of my alarm actions will send me anytime the alarm state changes. It will tell me through Pushover that it has changed. Anytime the door gets closed, unlocked, open, the garage door, then I get notified. Of course, the fridge door is another one. And then I have some monitors I use that tell me if the weather station stops reporting or updating. That'll tell me through Pushover. So those are just some examples that I use the Pushover API for. And again, if you look at the website, you can see that you get 7,500 calls per month or notifications per month. So make sure if you're going to do something with this, number one, support Pushover because it's pretty awesome. And if you're going to go over 7,500 calls per month, it's going to be a requirement anyway. All right, so that pretty much does it. Let me know if you have any questions, and subscribe. Definitely subscribe. I need more subscribers so I can continue to make these and I can justify to my family why I'm doing this. And if you have any questions, throw them down in the comments. We'll see you on the next one.